Imagine holding a book written thousands of years ago that somehow describes the world you live in today: smartphones, global communication, even artificial intelligence. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you the Bible contains eerie descriptions of technology that did not exist when it was written? This is not about vague predictions. It's about specific, jaw-dropping details that will make you question everything. 1. The smartphone prophecy. You're holding a device right now that connects you to the entire world. But listen to this. Revelation 11 verses 9 to 10 describes a future where people from all nations see the bodies of two prophets lying in the street, and they refuse to let them be buried. How? Because the peoples and tribes and tongues will see their dead bodies for 3.5 days. Think about it. A global audience witnessing the same event in real time? That's live streaming. That's social media. And this was written when the fastest communication was a horse. Think about how impossible this would have sounded to someone in the first century. They communicated through letters carried by foot or horseback, messages that took weeks or months to arrive. Yet here we are, watching events unfold globally in real time, just as the text describes. The passage even mentions how people will send gifts to one another during this event. Does not that sound exactly like how we react to viral moments today? Shares, likes, comments, it's all there. And consider this. The text specifies that these bodies will be visible to peoples, tribes, and tongues, every language, every culture. That's not just a crowd in one city. That's the internet. What's even more fascinating is the psychological aspect. The passage says people will rejoice over them and make merry. Sound familiar? How often do we see online mobs celebrating someone's downfall? The Bible did not just predict the technology, it predicted how we'd use it. 2. The mark of the beast in digital currency. Cash is disappearing. We pay with phones, chips, even face scans. Now read Revelation 13 verses 16 to 17. He causes all to receive a mark on their right hand or forehead, so no one can buy or sell unless they have the mark. For centuries, people wondered what this meant. Today, it's chillingly clear. Biometric IDs, digital wallets, centralized control. This is not fantasy. It's happening now. Right now, governments and corporations are pushing for cashless societies. Sweden is already 90% cash-free. China's digital yuan tracks every transaction. Even credit cards are being phased out for biometric payments, your face or fingerprint as your wallet. This is not conspiracy theory. It's happening. And the Bible's warning about a centralized system controlling commerce suddenly does not seem so far-fetched. But here's what most people overlook. The mark is not just about convenience. Revelation says it's tied to worship, a choice between allegiance to a system or to God. Today, we're already making small compromises for convenience. Automatic data collection, social credit scores. The groundwork is being laid, piece by piece. The real question is not could this happen? It's are we already halfway there? 3. Here's the hope you need right now. Before you panic, there's something powerful here. These prophecies weren't meant to scare you. They were meant to prepare you. Daniel 12 verse 4 says, "But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Knowledge shall increase." We're living in that explosion of knowledge. The Bible knew we'd need wisdom for this exact moment. This verse in Daniel is mind-blowing when you realize its timing. For centuries, knowledge grew slowly. Then, around the 20th century, it exploded. Exponential advancements in tech, medicine, and communication. The Bible did not just predict this. It said this knowledge would be a sign. A sign of what? That we're in the time of the end, not the end of the world, but the end of an age. And here's the best part. This knowledge is not just for scientists or elites. It's for everyone. The same internet that spreads chaos also gives you access to ancient wisdom in seconds. You're living in the most informed generation in history with the tools to discern truth like never before. 4. Artificial intelligence and Ezekiel. Ezekiel 1 describes a bizarre vision. Living creatures with wheels full of eyes, moving in perfect sync. Wherever the spirit wanted to go. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Now think about self-driving cars, drones, AI networks with omnipresent sensors. The Hebrew word for living creature, chaya, can also mean android. Coincidence? Or something more? Ezekiel's vision gets even wilder when you break it down. The wheels within wheels full of eyes? That's not just poetic language. Think about modern surveillance. Cameras on every corner, satellites watching from space. Even the way AI processes visual data through layers of algorithms. The text says these creatures moved instantly, wherever the spirit wanted to go. No lag, no delay. Sound like 5G and real-time data transfer? And here's the kicker. Ezekiel describes a likeness of a throne above it all, with a voice speaking. If you replace throne with server and voice with AI command, it's uncomfortably close to how centralized AI systems operate today. The Bible might have been describing a network centuries before the first computer. 5. The dark side of connection. Social media was supposed to unite us. Instead, it's tearing us apart. 2 Timothy 3 verses 1 to 5 warned of terrible times in the last days, where people would be lovers of themselves, lovers of money. Without self-control, brutal, not lovers of good. Scroll through any comment section. The Bible predicted our addiction to outrage. Paul's warning in 2 Timothy reads like a modern-day social media audit. Lovers of themselves? Influencer culture. Without self-control? Binge scrolling addiction. Brutal? Online cancel mobs. The Bible did not just predict the tech, it predicted how it would warp human behavior. But here's the twist. The passage ends with a command to avoid such people. Not a call to destroy the tech, but to rise above its worst effects. That's the key. The problem is not the tool, it's how we use it. The same platforms spreading division can also spread hope. You get to choose. 6. The game-changing truth about prophecy. Here's what most people miss. These are not just predictions. They're invitations. Joel 2 verses 28 to 29 says, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. The same book that foresaw technology also promised divine guidance to navigate it. This promise in Joel is not just about supernatural experiences. It's about access. In the past, visions and dreams were rare. Now, ideas spread globally in hours. A kid in Kenya codes an app. A grandma in Brazil starts a prayer movement online. The pouring out is not limited by geography or status anymore. And here's what's revolutionary. The text says this would happen before the great and awesome day of the Lord. Not as a last-minute warning, but as an equipping. Right now, you're being prepared with knowledge, connections, and tools for what's ahead. 7. The mystery of the cloud of witnesses. Hebrews 12 verse 1 says we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Ancient concept or a description of cloud computing. Data floating in an invisible network, accessible anywhere. Even the Bible's metaphors feel modern. The cloud of witnesses metaphor goes even deeper when you consider how data works today. Information is not stored in one physical place. It's distributed, always accessible, yet intangible. Just like the biblical description of saints cheering us on from another dimension. And think about this. The passage says these witnesses surround us. That's 360-degree coverage. Today's cloud tech gives us omnipresent access to information. The parallel is staggering. The Bible framed an ancient truth in terms we'd only understand in the digital age. 8. Why this matters for your daily life. You do not have to fear the future. Proverbs 25 verse 2 says, It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to search it out. Every scientific breakthrough, every line of code, it's all part of a bigger story. Your curiosity? That's by design. Solomon's proverb about searching out hidden matters takes on new meaning in the information age. Every Google search, every scientific discovery, it's all part of uncovering what's been concealed. But here's the catch. The verse says this is the glory of kings. Not just for elites, but for anyone willing to seek. That means your curiosity about prophecy and tech is not random. It's part of a design. The more we discover, the more we realize someone knew we'd be here all along. 9. The most controversial prophecy of all, Matthew 24 verse 14 says, This gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations. And then the end will come. Hate it or love it, the internet made this possible. For the first time in history, anyone anywhere can access scripture instantly. This prophecy's fulfillment is happening in ways the early church could not imagine. Missionaries no longer need to sail for months. They can reach closed nations through encrypted apps. Bible translations are being completed at record speeds using AI. The all-the-world part? We've literally got satellites beaming scripture to remote tribes. But here's what's urgent. This verse links global preaching to the end of an era. That means every tweet, every video, every digital Bible study is not just content, it's part of a countdown. 10. What you're really being prepared for. This is not about doom scrolling through prophecy. It's about hope. Revelation 21 verse 5 promises, "Behold, I make all things new." The same God who foresaw smartphones and AI is planning a future beyond your wildest dreams. So here's my challenge to you. Look around. The pieces are falling into place. But this is not a time for fear, it's a time for courage. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. Drop a comment with the prophecy that shocked you most. And most importantly, stay awake. The most exciting part of the story might be just ahead.